Hey, welcome back everybody. I want to do a really quick follow-up video on some of the interesting things that have been popping up online as people are trying to look at these images a little bit closer now that Boston's been solved and possibly find some of the dig confirmers at the location of the casque. And so we were taking a look at the New York image again, and there are some interesting things that people have pointed out that they had questions and were kind of wondering about. And it just so happens that they really do fit my solution to a T. So just kind of wanted to go through a couple of those here. And before we do that, I'll just remind everybody kind of where I was at the end of my solution. So we were here in Astoria Park, and we were looking north towards the island up there, Brother Island, and the line kind of goes right through these benches here. So we had said that the soil was the root word of soil was a seat, and so Gershwin's seat would be basically a bench, and so we were theorizing that these benches right here could be where the dig spot is. I did have somebody go out and actually take a picture out there, and so this is what those benches look like right now. And what is kind of interesting is when you take a look at the image, there is a spot that people have been focusing on, and they've been wondering what this is. And so if you turn it sideways and you look at it, it looks very similar to what a bench would look like from an angle, and it adds a little bit of depth perspective as it kind of fades away here. But essentially this would be the flat part of the seat, and these two folds would be the back of the seat. And you got to imagine it that it is 3D and that it has an angle there. But if you kind of compare it to the bench, if you use your imagination a little bit, I think it's not that far-fetched to get to that. So I really found that was a pretty interesting thing there. If that is the dig confirmer, that this bench could be the correct spot. Something else that was kind of pointed out that was pretty interesting was someone was mentioning this V up here in her shoulder, and obviously with the V in the poem, people are trying to figure out, well, what does that signify? And I just took a simple look at it, and if you were to extend this V, what's it pointing at? Well, this arm is pointing right at the cathedral, and this arm is pointing right at the bridge. And obviously in my theory that those 2 points are the points of the clock, and here we have our other V up here in the clock. And so we eventually find that third point up here. So just some things that people have been noticing about this image. And like I said, it just so happens that these things kind of fit my solution really well. And so I think it's just more confirmation that I am on the right track. One last thing I'll say about this is, when I was searching this and looking to see if anybody had really looked at Astoria Park, I did a search on Quest for Treasure for the word Astoria, and it came up with 0 results. And just looking through the Facebook groups, very few people had even mentioned it. And so to me, that's the kind of thing that gets me excited, is that if something hasn't been solved for 37 years, if you come up with something that's new, it's unique, it's original, it may just be the solution. So I am still very excited about this idea, and I continue to have thoughts about it, and I'll probably share some other things that I've been rattling around in my brain a little bit in maybe one more video before I kind of put this to bed, and hopefully we can get some help and somebody out there can go take a look or maybe probe and kind of see if we got something out there. We'll see what happens on this. Hopefully somebody can get a dig permit and we can maybe get something done on this site. So keeping my fingers crossed on that. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it, and catch you on the next one.